Hello everyone. Let us look at navigations and shortcuts. Of course, when you work on Excel, shortcuts are more important, and there are many more shortcuts on Excel compared to what you have on PowerPoint. But let us have a look at what we have available. So I'm just creating some content on the slide. Here we go. And let's maybe make one more slide. And I'll add a few shapes on this and maybe one 3D model. Let's select this one, and here we go. Perfect. So when we are on the slideshow mode, there are a few shortcuts that you can use to improve the way that you present. To access these shortcuts, you can press F1, and as you can see, that gives you a list of all the shortcuts that are available. I will cover the important ones. You can press Ctrl P to get a pen, and that allows you to draw on the screen. Now, obviously, this works much better if you have a touchscreen laptop and maybe a stylus, but then at least for very simple things like maybe just marking something or doing a strike through, that also works. To erase it, you can either press E to erase everything, or you can press Ctrl plus E to get an eraser, and that allows you to erase exactly what you want. Remember that once you draw something and you exit the slideshow mode, it does ask you, do you want to keep your ink annotations or do you want to discard them? If we keep them, then it is created on the slide as a page. How nice is that? And then of course you can move it around if you want. Then we have a Ctrl P, which is the pen, a Ctrl E, which is the eraser, and we also have a Ctrl L for the laser pointer, like this. If you want to change this back to an arrow, you can press Ctrl A, and that gives you the arrow back. To zoom in and zoom out, you can press plus and minus. And if you press minus one more time, it takes you to the slide selector option, which is very helpful when you have like 250 slides with you, which is pretty common in consulting presentations. You can also press B to turn the screen black and W to turn the screen into a whiteboard like this. There are of course other shortcuts that have been given, but I'll not get into them. It's available when you press F1, so you can always go and have a look. In addition to this, you can also press Ctrl Shift F1. So when you do that, you notice that the ribbon is hidden completely. And if you press Ctrl Shift F1, the ribbon comes back. I'm just putting a screenshot here so that you remember what this is. And the shortcut, everyone, is Ctrl Shift F1 to hide and unhide the ribbon. Remember, this shortcut works even on Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word. Then at the bottom, we have this slide sorter, the one that I have selected. Let me take a screenshot here as well. And I'm going to add an arrow so you know which one this is. And here we go. So the slide sorter is a way to see all the slides that you have in your PowerPoint like this. And this also allows you to add sections. For example, between 2 and 3, I can click. Either I can right click and add a section. The other option is, so this is one way to right click and add a section. The other option is to go to home and then add a section from here. Same thing. Adding a section can be quite helpful because if I call this part 2, then I can add a section here as well, and I can call this part 3. This allows you to have 3 sections, and then of course you can minimize them. You can move a section around completely, or you can delete a section completely. So very handy to be able to organize your slides, especially for a large presentation that you have. So there are 2 ways to add a section, everyone. This is one, and the other one is like this. And this is how the slide sort of looks. There are, of course, other tiny shortcuts that you have in PowerPoint, but then they're not like really important, and I don't think they save you that much time. So it's not really worth the effort. One thing I would like to point out is that do use the search bar. I think this is only available on the more recent versions of PowerPoint, but then you should definitely use it. To give you an example, let's say you have a few shapes with you. So I'm inserting a rectangle and just making a few more copies. And maybe you want to align all of these. Now, rather than selecting and then going to every tab searching for the right option, it's easier for you just to come to search, and then we say that we would like to align, and then it automatically finds the options for you. So here I can align objects, and I can say I want to align in the center. And then one more time, I can say align, and I can say I want to distribute vertically. There you go. So very handy to be able to use the search bar. Other than this, when it comes to navigation and shortcuts, there really isn't much else. All of you already know how the slideshow mode works. In one of the other videos, I will also talk about how you can create different slideshows for different audiences, and also tell you how you can use subtitles while you're presenting.